Ta-da! Well, it's an exciting day today. My new baby has arrived, and here it is. It's a big brother for my little F949S and my EPP Spirit. Alright, let's have a look at this. Wow, those are decent sized wheels. And here are the wings, ailerons. They're in good condition. And here's the tail plane and the vertical stabilizer. That looks good. Wow, 4 propellers. And the motor and the ESC. And here's the fuselage. Okay. Kauri Airlines steerable tail wheel. I believe these wings clip on. I'm kind of counting on that so that I can easily transport it on my bike. Let's have a look at the motor. Ah, servos. Okay, looks like I'm going to have some construction going on here. There's the ESC and the brushless motor, 1400 kV A2212/10T brushless motor. Those are quite large props. The ESC appears to come with XT30 connectors, whereas the battery that I bought for it, I specified a T-plug or a DENS plug, which are incompatible. Task number 1 will be to convert either the battery or the ESC to a more standard form of battery connector. Okay, so it looks like I've got all the parts that I need to get this machine underway. I've got some building to do. Let's get started. Okay, I've modified the plug on the 1500 mAh battery to have a XT60 connector, so I can now plug that into the ESC that came with the Cub, and I'm ready to do an electrical test. First, I set up a new model on my FSI6, and then I put the binding cable on the receiver and connect up the power and successfully bound the receiver. I then connected up all the servos. So we've got aileron servos working here, elevator, rudder, and of course throttle, which works. I've managed to install the carbon fibre strut that supports the wings. It was a very tight fit, a bit of a challenge to get through, but with the help of some talcum powder and a bamboo stick, I was able to get it in, and when I pushed the wings together, they seem to match up pretty well. Servos come with a 300mm extension cable, and the challenge will be feeding that through the body with limited access points through to where the receiver is going to be mounted, and I'll probably end up mounting this receiver up here. I'll see. I'll have to work out the centre of gravity, and the battery up the front or underneath it. I've found out that the canopy removes by lifting like that. There's magnets here and a little notch there, and the motor cowling also pops out with magnets, so that makes that somewhat easy to access. I've managed to thread both the rudder and elevator servo leads through the fuselage. The guy on the Prop and Wheels YouTube suggested just hot gluing the servos in place from the top in case you need to replace them at any stage rather than from the bottom. I've now connected the rudder and the elevator to the servos, and we've got those working okay. Next I need to install the servos into the wings, connect up the horns, and then connect up the Y connector that's provided with the kit to the receiver and test out the ailerons. I've installed the servos temporarily into the wings. I will fine tune those later and glue the servos in, and I'm about to do a trial fit onto the fuselage. I had to ease in the servo cable extenders a little bit so they were flush, and I've temporarily connected up the receiver just underneath the wing. So the wings, I believe, just push on like that, and there's a handy connector that goes in like so, and then these little knobs just point to the front, and there you've got the wing on. I just wanted to make sure everything was working. That's all good. So next I will glue the aileron servos in and then proceed with installing the motor. The motor is now fitted and I've connected up the propeller. I think the centre of gravity feels about right, perhaps a little bit tail heavy, and she weighs in about 620 grams. We're just about ready for a test flight. I just need to do some superficial cleanup, trimming the connector rods and doing some superficial paintwork where there are no decals. With the 1000 mAh 2S battery, weighs 585 grams, and the 1500 mAh battery, 621 grams. And here she is all painted up ready for her first maiden flight, and she fits snugly into my new backpack so I can take her on the train and on my bike.